Hello and welcome to an event that would give even the most avid gym enthusiast an inferiority complex. This is the UK's Strongest Man 2014. I'm Matt Bell and you join us here on a gloriously sunny day in Belfast Crumlin Road Jail, where we're looking forward to a fantastic day of giant men pushing, heaving and grunting their way to that coveted spot of the UK's Strongest Man. Before we get stuck into the action though, let's find out how our 8 finalists got here.
The first event was the Tyre Super Yoke, 420 kilograms a load. It was England's Adam Bishop who took Group A, while Welshman Mark Jeans prevailed in Group B. Reigning champion Eddie Hall made a positive start in the Caveman Rock Lift, the man from Stoke-on-Trent electing to call it a day after lifting 110 kilograms successfully. But in Group B, Scotland's Luke Stoltman lifted 120 kilograms to take the event. England's Adam Bishop took his second win of the day, grinding out 9 repetitions in the 400 kilogram deadlift in Group A, while his compatriot Luke Fulbrook topped the standings with 6. Unsurprisingly, 6'11" Sean O'Hagan, the biggest man in the competition, took the mass wrestling test in Group A, while in the other group, veteran fellow countryman Richard Looney took maximum points. The second day of competition got underway with a classic strongman event, bar bending, and England's Ash Rumsham showed great technique to secure his first win of the competition. While in Group B, Oxford's Ben Kelsey bounced back from the disappointment of a last-place finish in the mass wrestling test by becoming the only athlete to bend the thickest bar and take top spot. In the Optimus Prime sword hold, Ed Hall dominated his rivals to win by more than 30 seconds, while Ben Kelsey continued his fine run of form to take Group B. In the penultimate qualification event, Adam Bishop produced 11 reps with the 400 kilogram fish tank to lead Group A, but over in the other group, Luke Stoltman delivered a dozen. Both safe in the knowledge that they had qualified for the final going into the car deadlift hold, Adam Bishop and Ed Hall had some fun and played mind games, while in Group B, Luke Fulbrook stood strong for 49 seconds to take the win. So after a qualification process consisting of 2 days of competition, 8 challenging events, these are the athletes who will line up to contest for the title of UK's Strongest Man 2014.
Well, there you have it, the 8 strongest men in the UK, but all eyes are on just one man. He's the reigning champion, defending his title for possibly the 4th year. It's Ed Hall.
I'm Eddie Hall, I'm 26 years old, I'm from Stoke-on-Trent, England, and I'm the 3 times UK Strongest Man. Yeah, the first 2 days has been pretty easy. I've just done the bare minimum basically just to get through to the final, you know, just won the easy events, and the hard events just sort of slacked on just to save energy and prevent the injuries, so pretty easy coming into the final. Being UK Strongest Man is good. You get recognised in the street. I'm getting a lot of TV work, a lot of promo work, so you know it is kind of life changing. You know, I'm starting to get into the sort of TV side of things and the, you know, the celebrity side of things, where people are paying me to come and do promotions for them on day shoots and stuff, so it's, you know, it's really paying off. It's good. I'm hoping to sort of be a full-time strongman within the next year. So, you know, hopefully want to sort of quit my job and turn full-time strongman. So basically, you know, I'll train, eat, sleep, physio, all sorts of things. Just basically all strongman. So, you know, I can really turn myself around. I've set myself a 3-year limit. If I don't win World's Strongest Man within 3 years, I'll probably be going back to work.
Event 1 of the UK's Strongest Man, the railway section walk. The heaviest frames on the planet, 385 kilos of farmers walk up the course. 20 metres, 90 seconds. This is going to be hand grip, lower back pain, pain all the way. Who's going to win? We'll soon see.
So the lineup in this first event of the 2014 UK Strongest Man, Mark Jeans from Wales, the 26-year-old from Bridgend, competing in his first UK Strongman competition. Luke Stoltman, appearing in the event for the 2nd time, the 29-year-old from Inverness. And here is the reigning, defending, 3-time champion of UK Strongest Man, Ed Hall, 26 years of age, from Stoke-on-Trent, looking for his 4th title. And here's another debutant rounding out the field in this first heat, Ash Rumsham, 25 years of age, 6'5" tall. looking to make a strong start to this year's competition. So the load, 385 kilograms, the distance, 20 meters, waiting the starter's orders. Up and away, and Luke Stoltman in lane 2 has made a blistering start, off and running, but now the defending champion Ed Hall into his stride, and he has made up a massive amount of ground on Stoltman all the way through the line. Terrific time from Ed Hall, just over 11.5 seconds. Stoltman has dropped it, picks up the momentum once more. Now can he find that final finish to surge over the line in an impressive time? Stoltman does it, finally clears the line, fighting for every inch, and the debutant in lane 1, Mark Jeans, just taking some time to recoup and recover. We've had the first 2 places secured. Ed Hall, very impressive. Jeans screaming himself on, providing himself with some encouragement. But this is a really difficult load to carry. Not only the sheer weight and mass at 385 kilograms, but the sheer awkwardness of shifting that load down the 20-meter course. And of course, every time an athlete comes to a complete stop, then there is inertia to overcome. Over in lane 4, Ash Rumsam has given up the ghost, and it appears as though Jeans has done the same thing. So he'll be measured on distance. No doubt about the winner in this opening heat, the defending champion, Ed Hall, laying down a strong marker, just over 11.5 seconds. Well, he wasn't the quickest out of the blocks, Ed Hall, but once he got moving, his stride was sure, his grip was true, and he surged over the line to win the opening heat. The athletes in position for the second heat of the 385 kilogram railway walk, 20 meters the distance. There's Adam Bishop. In lane 1, Pato Dwyer from Ireland, 28 years of age. Doesn't enjoy the dynamic events. The firefighter from Ireland. Here's Ed Hall's training partner, Luke Fulbrook, 35 years of age, trains alongside the defending champion in Stoke. And here's Ben Kelsey, one of the lighter athletes at just 120 kilograms, speed, one of his hallmarks. But let's get the pre-event thoughts of the man in lane 1, Adam Bishop.
I'm just going to try my best on every single of the finals events. If I perform to my best ability, I don't really mind. I can't affect what other people do, but obviously everyone's aiming to make the podium. So I've always been fascinated with strongman. Ultimates in anything is great. People want to be the fastest. Yeah, for me, it's to be the strongest. So it's always an interesting thing to be the best at any given sport. And ultimate strength for me is kind of very appealing.
So Adam Bishop inspired by ultimate strength, but speed a component of this event as well. Off and running in Heat 2, and look at the tremendous start made by Adam Bishop. Ben Kelsey has dropped the load after getting away well. No such problems for Bishop, storming toward the finish line, gritting his teeth as he crosses, and that is going to rival the 11.7 seconds set by Ed Hall in Heat 1. Kelsey, though, having all kinds of problems, cannot get to grips with the railway section, and that is a surprise because speed is one of his strongest attributes. And indeed it looks as though the section has beaten Kelsey, walking away from the load, and he appears to be in a really bad place mentally. The other 2 athletes, O'Dwyer and Fulbrook, struggling to get this load moving as well. They got it off the line but are only inches in front of the starting point. Cheered on by the fans in the crowd, but this is proving to be a really difficult task for both O'Dwyer and Fulbrook. Walking away from the load, defeated by the task, Fulbrook continuing to fight. Remember, there's a 90-second time limit. A lot of that has been eaten up now, but he's just trying to overcome the distance acquired by Kelsey, who walked away from the sleeper, and that is what Fulbrook is doing now. So Heat 2, far less impressive than the distances and times produced by the athletes in Heat 1. Ben Kelsey walking away from the event, that was a real surprise, but no such problems for Adam Bishop, storming over the finish line to take the win. And as we confirm the result, Ed Hall prevailing, taking first blood by just 1/100th of a second. It took a photo finish to separate Hall and Bishop in the first event.
So Adam, you're 100th of a second behind Ed on that last event. That must be quite tough to take, I suppose.
Yeah, I honestly thought I got him on that. I mean, at that level, it pretty much come down to a rounding of the stopwatch, so we were pretty much inseparable on that. But to take second in the first event, I'm pretty happy.
So year on year, you're getting stronger and stronger. Only a couple of years ago, you were the UK's junior strongest man. How does it feel now to be competing with the strongest men in this country?
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, compete against Eddie, who's multiple world strongest man competitor, and to get running that close to the event is awesome. So very, very happy.
How are you feeling about the rest of the event?
Yeah, good. Some good events for me. So we'll see what happens.
So Ed, you finished first on the railway walk. Feeling good about that? Feeling confident?
Yeah, obviously winning the first event is always a great stage. It puts me in a great position for the next event. It means I can go last. I know what to do. So winning an event's always cool anyway. So it's good.
So you didn't win that as confidently as perhaps you have done other events in the past. Adam Bishop was only 100th of a second behind you, which is probably the smallest amount of time I've ever seen anyone be behind someone in a race of any kind.
Yeah, I mean that's when you get to world's strongest man sort of level, the truck pull. You can have sort of 5-6 guys on the same second, and it's literally 0.01 that can split the time. So, it's pretty soul destroying if you're that guy that's lost by that 0.1. But it's one of those things.
Still confident that this competition's yours?
For sure, yeah, definitely it's mine.
Well, we have had high drama in the opening event of the 2014 UK Strongest Man competition, and there is still lots to come. Static strength in the axle press, and then athleticism and conditioning as the strongmen get to grips with the Husafell stone carry.
Event 2 of the UK Strongest Man 2014, the press. No ordinary press, it's a Lewis Seal Apollo axle press, legendary in the making by this circus strongman. 167 kilos onto the chest, into a press fashion as many times as possible. If you do it once, you're strong. You do it twice, you're up there with the best. 3, you can be one of the greatest strongmen on the planet. Who's going to win? We'll soon see.
Well, you heard the legendary Glenn Ross explaining just how difficult this event is, and it proved to be so for many of the strongmen. Pat O'Dwyer couldn't complete a single rep, nor could Luke Fulbrook. Ben Kelsey's bad day continued, failing to complete a single rep and sustaining a hand injury in the process. Worrying times for the firefighter from Oxford. Ash Rumsam got it up to his chest, but couldn't complete a press. 0 repetitions for the 6'5" electrician. Mark Jeans couldn't complete a rep, and even the mighty Luke Stoltman failed to complete a single lift.
From England, Adam Bishop.
So 6 athletes have attempted to lift the axle. 6 men have failed. Adam Bishop stepping up to the plate now,
2014.
attempting to press the 167 kilogram load, which would give him a significant advantage with just Ed Hall to come in this second event. You see the reverse grip adopted to get the bar up to the torso. Now switches his grip, both hands beneath it, and again. And 167 kilograms, this is a mass that athletes of this caliber can handle comfortably, but what makes it so difficult is the thickness of the bar's diameter. Really difficult to get the hands around. Bishop gets it into position for the second time. Appears far more comfortable on his second attempt. Splits the legs, drives it up, and roars with delight as he completes the lift. Now, the rules of this event state that the bar must be lowered in controlled fashion, but in his exuberance, Adam Bishop tossed the bar to the ground and began his celebrations. How will the judges rule on whether this is a fair lift or otherwise? This was the moment at which he secured it. The bar up onto the clavicle, splits the legs, drives up from the glutes and locks out the arms. And despite dropping it from overhead, the judges have said, good lift. So, Eddie Hall, the defending champion, the man who took victory in the opening event of this year's competition, up against it slightly now, because he has to complete 2 repetitions of this Lewis axle press to claim victory outright. In position, the reverse grip adopted straight up onto his midsection, into position, and just look at the arch on that lower back. Tremendous strength. Here's a controlled descent of the 167 kilogram load. Just regrouping, regathering his thoughts and his composure. The reverse grip in position once again. This for victory outright. Up into position. bending of the spine, and again, awesome strength. And then celebration in acknowledgement of the fact that he has taken victory outright in this second event with a really impressive display of strength and power. Gets it into position. We haven't seen any other athlete attempt to use this technique, but then look at that. Once it's in position on his sternum, he just drives it out. Tremendous strength in the deltoids and the triceps and the pecs as well. Arms locked. 2 lifts completed. Legendary strength from Ed Hall to take top spot in the second event. 2 wins out of 2 for the defending champion. Adam Bishop continues his strong start to this year's championships with another second place, but no other athlete completing a lift. And just look at the impact that has had on the leaderboard. Ed Hall, maximum points. Adam Bishop, hot on his heels. A considerable gap between the top 2 and the rest.
Event 3 of the UK Strongest Man 2014. The Viking Husafell Stone. 400 pounds of weight. 184 kilos have to be carried up the course and back down again as far as possible. Legend has it, a farmer's daughter carried it 45 metres. If you break that distance, you're a real man. Who's going to win? We'll soon see.
So Mark Jeans in position, preparing to tackle the Husafell Stone. But before he gets to grips with it, let's hear his thoughts on his first appearance in UK Strongest Man.
I love it. It's something, you know, you've got to compete against guys stronger than you to make yourself stronger. If you compete against guys you're always beating, you're never going to get stronger. So I'm chasing these guys, and every year I'm getting stronger. And certain events I am beating them in, and certain events they destroy me. And so I'm slowly creeping up and getting there. So, like I say, a few more years I may be up there with them.
So Mark Jeans under starter's orders, preparing to try and get a grip on this 184 kilogram, 400 pound stone, and it is the sheer awkwardness of that object that makes it a challenge. That'll be digging into the forearms as he sets his way down on this 20-meter course. The leading mark set by England's Ash Rumsam, 41.22 meters, is the standard that the rest of the athletes have to top. Turning is rather difficult as well. He's on his second leg now, but his steps are slowing to almost a standstill. The stone goes down. He won't overcome Ash Rumsam's mark, and immediately checking out those forearms where that concrete block will have been digging in. So in position on the start line, Scotland's Luke Stoltman, the Highland Oak piping surveyor from Inverness, one of the more athletic strongmen at 6'3", 140 kilograms, looking to do well here.
I'm usually quite good at the Husafell carry. I did quite well last year at that, so I'm feeling quite fit, quite strong. If I can get it up, get it into position, I should be able to run with it for quite a good distance. And the barrel loading, I'm hopefully going to be okay at that as well. I like to think I'm quite decent at that. So again, it's all comes down to the day. Hopefully there'll be no niggles by the time the events come, and we'll be okay.
Well, Luke Stoltman is okay. He's currently in third position, but with just 6 points after failing to complete a lift in the axle press, there is a considerable gap between himself and second place, so he needs a good performance here, and he is off and running on this first leg of the 20-meter course at a very good tempo. His other counterparts and strongmen cheering him on. One leg completed, 20 meters down, and there is no let-up in that cadence as he approaches the second leg. 40 meters completed, and now remember the leading mark, 41.22 meters from Ash Rumsam. He's already surpassed that. He is in the lead, and now he's looking to make it an unassailable one. 3 legs completed, 60 meters in the bag. This is a remarkable performance from Luke Stoltman, continuing to stride out and fight for every meter. That is 3.5 laps. That is going to be around the 70-meter mark for Luke Stoltman, and that distance is surely going to take some beating. Only 2 athletes remain in this Husafell Stone event. One of them is the event leader, Ed Hall, and I can confirm that the official distance, 70.04 meters. So Adam Bishop currently in second position after 2 completed events. Another of the more athletic, mobile strongmen at 6'3" and 128 kilograms. But what frame of mind will he be in, having just seen Luke Stoltman produce that mammoth distance? 3.5 laps completed for 70 metres and 4 centimetres. Bishop has to try and overcome that mark if he wants to take top spot. On the first leg now, approaching the 20-metre line, toe over the line, turns, and off and running for the second leg. His speed is good, his tempo is good, but that stone is appearing to be a really awkward load to carry. He's coming up to the second leg now. That's a very good distance, over 40 metres. But remember, the leading mark is 70. That's going to rival the mark laid down by Ash Rumsam. So good performance from Adam Bishop. And again, you see the skin removed from the forearms by the sheer awkwardness of that jagged concrete block. Ed Hall on the start line preparing for the Husafell stone carry. And one of the benefits of winning events in UK Strongest Man is that you get to go last in the subsequent event. Ed Hall has taken 2 events out of 2. He's the final athlete to attempt this event, and he knows what he has to do if he wants to continue his winning streak. The leading mark, 70.04 metres by Luke Stoltman. Adam Bishop in second place at 44.58. Ed Hall has it up into position, and the stone residing comfortably on that massive chest, which measures 60 inches in diameter. The speed not as great as we've seen from other athletes, but Ed Hall looks comfortable as he completes the first 20-metre lap of this course. Now striding toward the second leg, breathing slightly more heavily now, fighting to get to the second marker, which will make 40 metres. Remember, second place is 44.58. The leading mark, 70.04. And Hall, well, he's come to a complete standstill. So going to have to overcome inertia now. And look at this for a demonstration of strength. Squatting down, his hamstrings on his calves, and the small load of 184 kilograms resting on his quads. He's up and moving again. Fighting to get into second position. Tosses the stone to the rubber matting. Now inquiring as to whether he has done enough to overcome Adam Bishop and secure second place. He appears confident that he's done so. We'll bring you confirmation of that shortly. But Eddie Hall continues his terrific start in defence of his title here at the 2014 UK Strongest Man. So Luke Stoltman with a dominant display, taking top spots in the Husafell stone carry. Hall and Bishop in second and third place. But the big news, Ben Kelsey, last year's runner-up, out of the competition after sustaining that hand injury. He'll take no further part in this year's championships. So Eddie Hall in a commanding position at the top of the leaderboard after 3 events, closely followed by Bishop and Stoltman, these 3 pulling away from the rest.
Well done, that was a fantastic event for you.
Yeah, it was good. I think it was quite a good event for me. I was expected to do quite well, I think, so there was a bit more pressure on me going into that one. So thankfully I lived up to it and managed to get the win for a change. So it's a nice feeling getting a win in the final of UK's Strongest Man. So I think that's the first win so far. So never know, 2 events left, all to play for, and just see how it goes from here.
So you're quickly becoming a regular face on the scene, a British favourite. You know, do you think you've probably got quite a bright future in strongman? You remind me a bit of Hafthor Bjornsson as well. You've got a bit of that about you.
I mean, Hafthor's always got a bit more, maybe a few inches of me in height, and probably a few extra kilos. But I mean, hopefully, yeah. I mean, it's 2 years now into the sport, so I seem to be kind of taking a step up each year, and hopefully just kind of slow and steady, kind of prove myself as one of the best in Britain. That's the goal, obviously. A lot of new guys coming on the scene, but hopefully I'll keep on plodding away, chipping away.
Do you see yourself being the UK's Strongest Man at some point?
Definitely, yeah. That's the goal. That's why we're here. I'm not here to make up the numbers now. I'm here to win. So maybe not this year, maybe the year after. Who knows? Podium this year would be a good, massive step up for me. I'll just see what happens. All to play for still. So fingers crossed.
So Eddie Hall's consistent excellence putting him in a commanding position as he prepares to defend his UK Strongest Man title. There's still plenty more action to come in this year's event. Up next, the Optimus Prime truck push.
I'm joined by the daddy himself, former UK Strongest Man, Glenn Ross. Hello, Glenn.
How you doing, Matt?
Yeah, good. So really exciting so far. Any favourites?
Well, we've always everybody's got their favourites, and you know, being a Celtic brother, I'm a big fan of Luke Stoltman. and he certainly blasted so far with that unbelievable Husafell stone that we've just seen. But the railway section, very challenging. I couldn't believe the amount of guys carried it that distance of 20 metres, 900 pounds. But the thing that really, really caught them all out, separated the men from the boys, was the Lewis Seal Axel. Proved he was the UK's strongest man. 2 reps from Ed Hall.
That's a proper daddy event. Thanks very much, Glenn. So, it's still all left to fight for. That coveted top spot of the UK's strongest man is still pretty much anyone's. We'll find out who wins it. But to find out what the next event is, let's go back to the daddy. Here's Glenn Ross.
Event 4 of the UK's Strongest Man 2014. Ultimate strongman at its best. The Optimus Prime Transformer truck. 10 tons a unit. Man versus machine. Must drive 10 ton back, 15 metre course. Who's going to win this one? We'll soon see.
Well, the first athlete preparing to tackle Optimus Prime is 35-year-old Luke Fulbrook, and he's put his body through a tortuous training regimen ahead of his first appearance in UK Strongest Man.
I train with Eddie Hall at Strength Asylum in Stoke-on-Trent. It's brutal. It's hard. 3-4 hours, 5 times a week, constant, non-stop, maximal lifts. It's brutal all the time.
So Luke Fulbrook off the start line and into those shoulder pads on the front bumper of Optimus Prime. He's made a pretty good start. You can see that he's elected to wear rock climbing shoes to get maximum traction on the tarmac, and he's making pretty good strides now. Little staccato steps as he powers this 10-ton unit down the 20-metre course. Continuing to maintain his cadence, the front bumper over the line. There's the horn to confirm that he's finished it. Just a slight limp in the gait of Luke Fulbrook as he completes that 20-metre course just over 24 seconds the time. A solid effort from the 35-year-old. So Mark Jeans, the UK's Strongest Man debutant, currently in a very respectable 5th place with 8 points after 3 completed events.
Let's get it on.
We're just awaiting the starter's whistle, and away he goes. Mark Jeans, 6'3", 142 kilograms, and you see again how important traction is in this event. Low with the shoulders, and now roaring himself on, encouraging himself with every painful stride. Look at the way the legs are pumping as he gets closer to the finish line of this 20-metre course. And there's the hooter, finally crosses over the finish line, and that is going to be an improvement. Perhaps just around the 22-second mark for Mark Jeans. Currently in 1st place, but plenty more competitors still to come. So Ireland's Pat O'Dwyer making his 2nd appearance at UK Strongest Man, perhaps expecting to go better than the 6th place he currently occupies. But let's get his thoughts on what he finds appealing about strongman.
I suppose the strongman is you're kind of doing stuff that normal people can't do, you know? Like you're lifting cars, and last year we were flipping cars. You're lifting stones over your head that some people wouldn't be able to lift off their ground. So I suppose it's that really, that you're kind of a lot stronger than the normal person.
So Pat O'Dwyer about to put his immense strength to the test, headlong into Optimus Prime, and he's made a solid start getting the truck off and moving, but he's just having a little bit of trouble with his footing as he drives the 10-ton unit backwards. There it is again, his footing giving way beneath him, but still managing to maintain the momentum of the truck as he drives toward the finish line, but repeated slipping and sliding coming from the feet of Pat O'Dwyer. Impossible to deter though, he drives it over the line. Decent performance around the 24-second mark, but how much time has he lost with his footing giving way beneath him? The power and strength were good, but his footwear just appearing to let him down. So next athlete to the start line is Ash Rumsam, currently in 4th place with 9 points after 3 completed events. And his bulk at 6'5", 150 kilograms could well be an asset in this event. Off and running, hits the shoulder pads hard and electing to use a 2-footed push-off to get Optimus Prime moving. First athlete we've seen to use that particular technique, and now he's getting good momentum, driving it forwards with strides that are eating up the tarmac, picking up good speed as well now, remaining low with the shoulders. Solid steps into the tarmac, gripping it with his toes as he fights to get the truck over the line. He's done so. Pretty solid time from Ash Rumsam. He's broken the 24-second barrier. We'll bring you official confirmation of that time shortly. But as things stand, Rumsam in second place with 3 athletes remaining. So Adam Bishop currently in second place after 3 completed events. 20 points is his total, 3 behind the leader Ed Hall, looking for a big performance here to keep himself in contention. The 2-footed push-off being used, and now Bishop off and running, one of the lighter athletes in the competition at just 128 kilograms. But look at the pace that Bishop is setting, fairly sprinting down this track and reversing the truck at a rate of knots. Terrific pace being set. There's the finishing line. There's the hooter. Adam Bishop in sole occupation of first place, breaking the 21-second barrier. 2 athletes to go though, but a really solid time laid down by Adam Bishop. So here is the event leader. 2 first places and 1 second in the 3 completed events so far. But how will he respond to the time of 20.50 seconds just produced by Adam Bishop? Just gets his toe back behind the line and now sprints, powers away and crashes into those shoulder pads as though it's a tackling dummy. The massive 170 kilogram bulk of Ed Hall getting to grips with this 10-ton truck, and it's the man who is coming out on top in this battle against Machine, hurtling down the track, approaching the finish line now. What a blistering time! Ed Hall breaking the 19-second barrier, and a thumbs up for the crowd in attendance in acknowledgement of a superb performance. Clear daylight between himself, Adam Bishop and the rest of the field. That time is going to take some beating. He was exerting such terrific force on every step, and it's as though the driver of Optimus Prime had his foot on the accelerator, picking up speed all the way down the course. And when the clock stopped, it read 18.14 seconds. A sensational performance from the defending champion.
2014 for the CMP Trophy.
So Luke Stoltman knows what he has to do. He's just seen Ed Hall lay down a terrific time of 18.14 seconds. And so Stoltman gets himself into position, driving off with that one-legged stance. And now he too is making good progress down this 20-meter course. And he's seen Ed Hall's time, and it's as though he's been inspired by that, because this is a very good run being produced by Luke Stoltman, currently in third place after 3 events. The driver toots the horn of Optimus Prime, and the clock stops at less than 20 seconds. It's not going to be good enough to beat Ed Hall's time, but it will give him sole occupancy of second place ahead of Adam Bishop. So Ed Hall's incredible performance giving him a decisive victory in the truck push. Luke Stoltman with another solid performance. Adam Bishop in third place. Those 3 vying for places on the podium. And this is how it impacts the overall leaderboard. Ed Hall looking a really strong contender to retain his title and win UK Strongest Man for the 4th time. The other podium places appear to be a battle between Bishop and Stoltman. Well, we have had terrific action in the 4 completed events so far. Athletes producing their level best in pursuit of this UK Strongest Man title. There's 1 event to come in this year's championships, and that's the barrel load.
So Adam, you're doing really well so far, but I think Ed's still, how many points ahead of you?
Yeah, Ed's about 5 points ahead of me, and then I'm 5 points ahead of Luke, so that's the top 3, but it's yeah, pretty much all to play for in terms of who's going to have what place in the on this final event.
So is it possible that you could still win? I mean, what would it take?
Yeah, mathematically it's possible. I mean, my money's still on Ed to take the win, but you know, anything's possible in the last event. You don't know what's going to happen in Strongman.
And what would he have to do, and what would you have to do in order to actually beat him?
I think pretty much I'd have to win the event, and Ed would fail to lift the barrel, I think, pretty much, or come last.
And how are you feeling in general? This must be obviously an improvement on last year when you had to drop out. You must be chuffed.
Yeah, very, very happy. I mean, last year was tough for me to swallow, just kind of dropping the Husfeldstone. But I mean, this year picked up fine, and my goal coming into this comp was to make top 3, which I've done. So yeah, I'm very, very happy.
You must now think that there's light at the end of the tunnel. You must actually have a UK win in your sights.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I'm only 25, so I've got plenty of time. Time's on my side just to keep improving a little bit each year, which is what I plan to do.
Best of luck, man. Cheers.
Cheers, thanks very much.
Event 5 of this UK Strongest Man Final 2014, the Super Drayman. Super because we've got 100 kilo, 115 kilo, 130 kilo, 145 and 160 kilo barrel that only one man has ever done on top of this 4.5 foot platform. Who's going to do it? Who's going to be the UK Strongest Man? We'll soon see. From Ireland, Pat O'Dwyer.
So Pat O'Dwyer being introduced to the crowd, currently in joint 6th place, along with Luke Fulbrook coming into this final event.
Mark Jeans.
And then Mark Jeans, a really respectable 4th position, just one shy of the podium places with one event to go.
Are you ready? Let's get it on.
So 5 barrels in position and both athletes off and running. The first one, 100 kilograms, and it's interesting to witness and watch the techniques that the athletes use to move these lighter loads, which are the furthest away from the 4.5 foot high platform. It's O'Dwyer who has made the quicker start. He's already got the 115 kilogram barrel up into position and is now wrestling with the one at 130. Jeans continuing to compete just behind him. But O'Dwyer now trying to get to grips with the penultimate barrel at 145 kilograms. He's up at the podium, but just struggling to get this mammoth load up into position, and that's allowing Jeans to get back on terms. Terrific performance from the Welshman. O'Dwyer really struggling with that. Jeans taking his time, and it is a case of slowly, surely winning the race, because Jeans has gone in front, up into position with 145 kilograms. Remember, there's a 90-second time limit on the clock. Very few athletes have completed this final barrel, 160, and O'Dwyer appears to have called it a day after completing the 130 kilogram barrel, getting that into position. Well, he's calling it a day, is Jeans. 4 barrels completed, but now coming back again. He's still got time on his side. 160 kilograms, trying to get that up into position. Big effort to get it onto the quads. Now he's got to drive up, but he's been beaten by the clock. But a creditable performance from the debutant in UK Strongest Man. 4 barrels completed, timed out at 90 seconds. Pat O'Dwyer, 1 behind, completed 3. So Ash Rumsam in joint 4th place coming into this final event. Just saw the man who holds that position with him, Mark Jeans, complete 4 barrels. Luke Stoltman currently in 3rd position. So a direct duel between Rumsam and Stoltman in this barrel loading event. So off and running, both athletes comfortably enough with that first barrel. Stoltman got it into position more quickly. He secured a considerable advantage. Now on to barrel number 3 for Stoltman, and just look at the difficulty Rumsam is having getting barrel number 2, the 115 kilogram load, up into position. Terrific power from Stoltman, positively tossed that 3rd barrel into the upright position. And now onto the 145 kilogram drum for Luke Stoltman. He's got that into position, and this is a pretty impressive time as well. Rumsam has lots of time on his side, and while Stoltman's electing to apply chalk, Rumsam tackling the 5th barrel, 160 kilograms, driving it up over the lip. What a performance from Rumsam. Come from behind, takes the victory over Stoltman, and completes all 5 barrels. One of a select band of athletes to do so, and he's joined by Stoltman. So what a terrific performance by both athletes, completing all 5 of the barrels. Drayman extraordinaire. 160 kilograms up into position, well inside the 90-second time limit.
Adam Bishop.
So this, a battle between the top 2 In the competition coming into this final event, Adam Bishop, just 25 years of age. But really, Ed Hall's destiny is in his own hands. Barring a calamity, he has to be a really strong favourite to retain his title and claim the title of UK Strongest Man for the 4th successive time. So away they go. Power from Ed Hall, just up onto his hip and gets that first barrel into position. Bishop not far behind him, but Ed Hall making short work of the 100 and 115 kilogram load so far. Bishop now just getting the 115 kilogram drum into place. Hall now already on that penultimate drum, squats it up with little bother. And now, having seen Stoltman and Rumsam complete 160, Ed Hall does the same thing, secures victory, raises his arms in celebration. Ed Hall has not only won this event against his closest rival, Adam Bishop, he has just retained his UK Strongest Man crown and he's won the title for the 4th time. Bishop raises his arms, he's gone really well in this his 2nd appearance at UK Strongest Man. Wrestling with the largest load now. He's seen 3 of his rivals do it. He'd love to join them, but no. Proven to be a load too far, and that's nice to see. A warm embrace between 2 men who will occupy the podium, but there can be little doubt about the man who will stand on top spot for the 4th time. Ed Hall is the UK's Strongest Man. Another dominant display during the Drayman's lift, flipping that final barrel into position. Let's get the thoughts of the champion. He's with Matt Bell.
Ed Hall, that's 4 consecutive UK Strongest Man titles. Congratulations. You happy?
Yeah, very happy.
So how was that for you?
That was relatively easy. I got 4 wins out of 5 events, and I got 1 second, and that second was, I was just messing about. So it was a really easy comp for me.
You've got the younger men of the sport nipping at your heels, though. Do any of them worry you?
Not particularly at the minute. As I say, they're only nipping. Until these guys are sort of taking first place spots off me every event, then nothing to worry about.
So what's next for Ed Hall? Where are you going to go from here?
It's August now. I've got nothing sort of booked until February, March time, so I'm going to have a good 6-7 months of good solid training, no competing, so I'm going to come back even bigger and stronger next year.
Wow, you think you're going to be the reigning champion for some years to come?
Yeah, probably about 20 years.
I look forward to that. Ed Hall, the Spartan, congratulations on another outstanding success. 4 out of 5 of the events. That's a superlative performance. Congratulations. Thanks. A global athlete.
So 3 athletes completing all 5 barrels during the Super Drayman barrel load, but Ed Hall winning by a proverbial country mile over the rest of his rivals, and that dominance is reflected in the final standings. For the 4th successive time, Ed Hall reigns supreme as the UK's Strongest Man, Adam Bishop and Luke Stoltman rounding out the podium places.
Well, there you have it. The champion reigns supreme. Can anyone knock the Spartan, Ed Hall, off that top spot of UK Strongest Man?
4 in a row. He's created history. He's certainly a monster.
And who else are you looking at thinking in a couple of years they could be pitting him to the post?
Well, Adam Bishop, 2 years ago, Junior UK Strongest Man, and today he turned up for the party. He's one to watch for the future. And certainly Luke Stoltman from Scotland, what a monster as well.
The broad Scotsman, he's got a bit of the Hafthor Bjornssons about him. I can't wait to see where these guys go next. Thank you for watching. We hope you've had as much fun as we have. I'm Matt Bell.
I'm Glenn Ross.
And this was the UK Strongest Man 2014. We'll see you again.
Ladies and gentlemen, the UK Strongest Man, Ed